Welcome back to another Defunct Snocross. I am Kevin. This week I'm excited to have another fan favorite for you, Leighton Motorsports. Here we go. The founding of this team was not built with racing as the sole goal, but with having family first. The owners Trace and Wendy Leighton from day one stated their goals of their team were to have fun and stay family orientated. The Leightons hailed from Eagle, Idaho, and is where the team originated. Trace and Wendy have 2 kids, a son Trevor and a daughter Timmy. Trevor at the age of 5 had his first snowmobile. The family for years spent winters at their Idaho cabin, and Trevor started mountain riding with his dad at the age of 10. In the 2007 and 2008 race season, Trace's good friend Toby Ashley, a former snowcross racer, found a sled for the then 13-year-old Trevor. Trevor then raced at the local Mountain West Racing Snowcross in McCall, Idaho. Trevor raced the junior 10 to 13 class and placed 3rd in the final against kids who most likely have been racing on kitty cats. The family and Trevor were hooked and their racing journey began. After a couple of years, when Trevor was 15, the family went all in the 2009-2010 season, purchasing a new truck and trailer. Trace and Wendy's thought with the new rig was, instead of having just one sled and one racer in a huge trailer, why not invite a couple more Western racers to join them? One fellow Idaho rider who caught their eye was Colby Kople. Unless you were living under a rock in the snowcross world in the late 90s and early 2000s, most fans would recognize the Kople name. That is in his cousins Sean, Kurt, and Jeremy Kople, who have all rode for factory snowcross teams. Colby was ecstatic to join the team, and the Leightons said they were drawn to Colby by his funny and motivating personality. The first season with Trevor and Colby showed success and was noticed by Polaris race director Tom Rager. Tom approached Trace Leighton about Leighton Motorsports becoming a factory-supported team. Trace and the family were very excited at this opportunity and of course answered yes. He also recommended Trace to hire Ray Holton onto the team. Holton was a successful team owner out in the eastern U.S. snowcross circuits. Another East Coaster who came along was mechanic Josh Sweeten, who would be Trevor's mechanic for the remainder of the years. This posed a bit of a dilemma though. Basically, one half of your team was in the West Coast and the other half was East Coast. So Leighton Motorsports decided it was best for both coasts to meet in the middle halfway at ERX for a practice track. ERX is located in Elk River, Minnesota, for those of you who don't know. This is where they would eventually build an amazing 7,200 square foot shop facility, which housed the former Blair Morgan racing trailer, aka now the Leighton Motorsports rig. Along with Trevor and Colby, Leighton's earlier rider was Jennifer Perry. Jennifer was from Quebec, Canada, and knew very little English for their first race together. They said they used another team's member and a Google Translator to communicate, but a testament to Jennifer's speed on the track, she also spent months cramming to learn English and to better communicate with her team. Even up to this point, Leighton's enjoyed her company and welcomed her into the race family, not letting a language barrier get in the way. Another note to add was Jennifer riding for Leighton Motorsports, who is the only factory team women's snowcross rider. These 3 racers were the core group at the start. Other racers who joined later were Andy Leaders, Cole Coutu, and then 2 others who would remain for the last seasons for Leighton Motorsports were Corin Todd and Zach Mason. Corin originally started out east racing the Rocky Maple circuit and found his way to the Leighton racing program. Corin raced a couple years of Pro Light with Leighton and even won the Pro Light Championship for the 2013 and 2014 season. During this time with Trevor and Todd, Leighton Motorsports was known as being sort of a pro-light powerhouse. After the season, he would move up to the pro class and be a top competitor in the pros. Later years for Todd after Leighton would land him at Judnick Motorsports. Now for Zach Mason, he would race only in the pro-light class for his years at Leighton. Every year though, he showed great improvements. His first year had him finishing somewhere around 15th in points for the point standings. But with his finals years, he finished in the top 4 in Pro Light. One of the changes Leighton made at the 2014 season was hiring former racer and multiple Snocross champion Robbie Malinowski. Robbie was a great mentor and crew leader for those riders to grow and progress. Zach is a great example of having someone like Robbie who is invaluable to the team. To have a guy with the experience who has been there and done that, push through injuries and come back to win titles. Now on to some of the sponsors. Of course you had factory Polaris Racing, but there were others like Bully Dog, Fly Racing, CNA, and one that stood out to me was Bad Endorsement Shoes. Bad Endorsement was a skater style shoe, but the whole team was on board wearing them. This deal was secured by none other than Timmy Leighton. Timmy held the role of team manager and marketing/social media manager. She even managed the team throughout her years in college. For fans back in 2014, maybe you are thinking she looks familiar. Well, you are right. Because she is on top of working at Leighton, she was none other than Miss Isock, handling race interviews, videos, and etc. Moving on to 2017, Trevor had some injuries during his last few years of racing. And finally, he had one in February. He made the hard choice to hang up the boots after that. The team finished out the year with Corin and Zach, but at the end of the year, the decision to close the Snocross trailer for good was made. I saw an interview with Trace Leighton about this, and man, you could tell it was not by any means an easy choice for him. He even had to cut and pause the video they were making to get through that interview. You could tell that Trace and his family really loved it and were going to miss it. I reached out to the Leighton Motorsports Facebook page and spoke with Timmy about their years racing. Here were some of the questions I had for them. The first one was, any good memories? Timmy replied, I would have to say that all of our favorite memories have to do with Trevor, and never being afraid to send it over any big jump. One that comes to mind is being the first to triple the backstretch of Canterbury every year. Also, the downhill at Lake Geneva. The next question was, are you still involved in snowcross anyway? Timmy replied, we are no longer actively involved in snowcross. However, we still remain close friends with those involved, especially the Coutu family. We would like to attend one of the races one of these days, however. Then words of advice for the snowcross community. Timmy answered, words of advice. My dad would agree, keep it a family sport. We started Leighton Motorsports as a true family team, and we left the sport as a family team. And I myself would agree that they left their legacy on the sport as that, a family team and a close family one. From recent posts on their team Facebook page, the Leightons continued to pursue life with the same competitive spirit. Trevor raced some off-road racing in razors and trucks. Timmy, herself, she was also Miss Idaho. And Trace, I saw another video of him barefoot skiing just a few years ago. They also helped support a camp for kids with cancer by building buildings and something like that. I think that's very cool. It shows what their character truly is. Well, that wraps it up for this Defunct Snowcross on Leighton Motorsports. Thank you to Timmy Leighton for the input on this video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Once again, thank you for always liking, watching, and subscribing. Your continued support means so much to me and does not go unnoticed. I'm not sure if I'll get another Defunct Snowcross done before the snow flies here in 2024. But then with our lack of snow, I don't know. I mean, could be, maybe we'll get one more in there, but who knows. Anyways, thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.